Hi there. Um, you know, I hope that when I do my videos, you're looking forward to seeing my smiling face. Um, Unfortunately, you're probably not going to see much of that tonight because we need to talk. We seriously need to talk. We've gotten to a point where the insanity of the world we're living in is starting to take over. It is not that we can't turn it around, but we must truly want to turn it around and to do the work that needs to be done for that to happen. Um, so I'm probably not going to make a lot of sense tonight, but it's like you're kind of like um, my online family in a way that we get together and talk about our most heartfelt things. And we've been subjected to a lot of lies and things that we want to soothe our soul in the days of our pain and suffering. So, for the past few days, I have felt like a great drain has been on my spirit. I have thought of the injustice of the loss of yet another group of beautiful children filled with hope and dreams. Our kids should not have to be afraid to go to school. We should not have to be afraid to send them to school. There's only one way to keep them safe, according to worldly thought, to go to school. It has to not send them. The only way is homeschooling. But that's an opposite answer. Because what we need to do is to come together and unite. Those that listen to me will listen to my videos. You've heard me say it again and again and again. We have to reunite. United we stand, divided we fall. And the Bible tells us when a house is divided against itself, great will be the fall. Guys, we need to learn how to get through this. Oh, there are answers. What are some people's answers? We need more police in school. We need teachers that can use guns. Really? I don't know how to tell you. That would not have helped. That would not have helped with what happened. Should we be afraid to go to the grocery store for fear we're going to never see our house and our family again? Should we be afraid to go to the movie theater? To church? To the mall? Everything that is happening is destructive and corrosive. And it is going to lead to the fall of our democracy, if not that, the country. Now, you see, we have entrusted our country, the well-being, our people. You see, our government is supposed to take care of us. They're supposed to help us be safe. They're supposed to make laws to be sure that everyone is treated justly. That ain't happening. It's not happening. don't give me any whining about there's nothing we can do, okay? So if you want to get whiny about it, nothing we can do. Yes, there is, but we have to stop whining about it and start working on it. And I don't want to hear I'm going to pray about it. Not unless it's followed by I will pray and then I will move my feet. I've had it up to here with I'm going to pray about it. I'm up to here with airy-fairy stuff. I am a unity minister, and a lot of unity ministers, a lot of people consider the unity churches to be airy-fairy. Why? Because we teach practical, positive Christianity. Well, how can we feel positive when we're destroying the earth? We're destroying each other. We're just everything, families, everything is falling apart. This is a period that we are in that is a shadow. It is darkness. And it does appear to be getting thicker and darker. But our way shower taught us to not judge. And if we must judge, we have to use righteous judgment. Well, what is that anyway? To judge or not to judge? That is the question. Yeah. Because there is a difference between prejudice, or look at it this way, prejudice. We're prejudging someone. We're judging someone or something without having all the facts. And it is prejudice, prejudging that is at the cause of racism, government corruption, divorce, all kinds of things, manipulation, hacking, scamming, all of that is based in the darkness of ignorance. Those of you who know, I wrote a book called Rise of the False God. Its subtitle is Transformation Through Illumination. You see, illumination is light. It represents knowledge, knowing, inspiration, and intuition. Whereas the unknowing, not the spiritual unknowing, which is a good thing, the ignorance is where we don't know, and I always say there's levels of it. There is ignorance, I didn't know. There is ignorance, I kind of know, but I'm going to ignore it. And then there is stupidity. And stupidity is I don't know and I don't care. And that is what we are having to deal with. Now, ultimately, it should be pretty simple because all we need to do is turn on the light. When you turn on the light, the shadow is gone if you haven't noticed. But right now, the shadow, the darkness, seems to be greater than the light. But we have to start becoming enlightened and become further enlightened for those of us who haven't. I'm going to talk in now. Some people, my friends in Unity, if you're way up there, you've been around Unity teaching, ministering for a number of years, what I'm going to say to you might not seem all that enlightened, but I'm going to talk to folks who are just starting to get this, okay? So we're going to talk on a very basic level. People say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is. You know, in this day of information, you can find the answer to just about anything in minutes. That doesn't mean you jump for every bit of news, breaking news, or whatever there is. You always have to question. And that's on the intellectual side. On the spiritual side, you have to tune in. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And if you're hearing my words right now and they're making any sense to you at all, you have to know that you have been brought here. You are here now because you're supposed to be a part of that change. At whatever level you have, it doesn't matter if you never even thought about metaphysics or spirituality a day of your life. Today is a new day. You know, in the Bible, it says that, oh, you can be transformed in the twinkling of an eye. Well, man, that eye's been twinkling for 77 years, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on getting it. But to be absolutely straight with you, we either get it or we're going to die. It's that simple. And God doesn't have anything to do with that. So if you want to blame God, give God credit, no. God, divine mind, spirit, not a being, but being itself, life's longing for itself, the ultimate perfect desire of creation and promulgation and prosperity and abundance. That's what we work with every day if we pay attention. If we become enlightened, it doesn't take a lot of work. It does not take a lot of work. You know, we were born with it. We were born with inherent knowing of good and evil. Oh gosh, I just ticked off some unity people who are going to say there is no evil, you know. And I would say ultimately, no, there might not be evil, but if you spell live backwards, you got evil. And if you're living backwards, you are not. It's not possible to become enlightened and move forward and guess what? Save the world, because that's what we're here to do, all right? It may seem like it's bigger than us, but the more of us that there are that are working on becoming the light, and my series, as many of you know, is called Embracing Change. We have to embrace the change that we can be. We have to stop whining that there's nothing we can do. There is something everybody can do. I want to talk about politics. Oh my God, she's talking about politics. Yes, I am. I heard today Beto O'Rourke, a politician, was talking at a gathering that the governor of Texas had about what was going on. You know, all these kids are being shot and it's awful and we offer them prayers and we know they're hurting and blah, 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 blah. And Beto O'Rourke went up there and he said, that's on you. That's on you. And then he got kicked out of the gathering because he was bringing politics in it. Why was he bringing politics in it? Well, because you cannot not in this case. You see, because the whole bit about gun violence is balancing on laws. What kind of laws do we have regarding guns? Oh, don't you take my guns away. You know, there comes a point where you have to say, you know what? The average citizen does not need to have military weapons. We are not in a war. Oh, well, there may be a war. There's going to be a civil war, you know. As they push for just that, they got to get to use their military weapons, you know. No, they don't. Now think about this for a minute. Why are people so paranoid that they think we're going to have this civil war? There could be one, but don't misunderstand yourself. There could be one. If we don't get our act together and get in the light, all those fears about a civil war are brought about people who want one. That a lot of them are white supremacists. Really? Well, tell me how your whiteness makes you any more supreme than anybody else. Okay? I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. All right, why? So this is why Beto O'Rourke was having this hissy fit in Texas, because the governor was a part of changing the laws that made that first of all they fought background checks, that you don't no, you should not have to get a background check to have a gun. Oh, okay, you're going to get a military weapon when you're 18 years old, and you're going to be, what are you going to do with that? Why can't you have a background check? Do you know this child that killed all those people, the poor babies, children, all the mothers that have to throw away their kids' toys? And it's just not right, because this entitled 18-year-old that was not right, he always caused fights. The people knew he was not right. They didn't have to do a background check. They'd probably talk to 10 people. Oh, he was also bullied. Does that give him a right to get a gun and blow people up? I don't think so. Important part about this. An 18-year-old has not got all of his brain, or her brain. The prefrontal cortex, this part of the brain, does not develop until between the years of 22 and 25, and can take up to 5 years to develop. So that part of the brain is the part that is be able to discern consequences for actions taken. If you look at my please go to my thread, my page, whatever you call it, my profile, and you will see a number of the things that I posted today. And a lot of them, there was one of them that talked all about the functions of the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which these children do not have. Oh, wait, you say, oh, well, but they can go in the military. And I say, yeah, they shouldn't do that either. We're all about cause and effect in our philosophy. We call it the primary law. The primary law is cause and effect, and we even take it farther than just physical cause and effect. We take it to emotional and spiritual cause and effect. But that's another story for another time. Like I said, I'm just going in with the very first baby steps on this. If war were a good thing, why doesn't it work? But we can't tackle war. Right now we have to tackle our children not getting killed in school with military weapons. In the past 5 years, there were 115 school shootings. Up until the time I was 50, we never even heard of one until Columbine. A couple of wise-ass kids without their prefrontal cortex decided to shoot a bunch of people up. I've talked about this before. The shooters, what is a common thread in mass murderers? Loners. What did I tell you we need? We need to unify. We need to reunite. We need to come together again. We need to take the people who are left out and weave them into the fabric of life. To help them, do not just say, like a lot of the people, a lot of the politicians are saying, oh, well, we need better mental health. Really? Why aren't you voting any money for it? Seriously? Okay? Another interesting point. We are the most violent developed country in the world. Now, there's a lot of undeveloped countries that are equally violent. They don't have the benefits of money, the things that the United States has. We are one of the developed countries with the worst. There are more guns per capita in this country than there are people. Yeah, you can have some guns. You don't need a freaking arsenal. But see, what happens is when you spiritually mature, now we know physically that part of the brain is not there. When you spiritually mature, you automatically know that you don't need this stuff, and you understand the Bible doesn't say blessed are the peacemakers for nothing. It's because the peacemakers are sure that your kids will go to school and that they can be safe and they don't have to worry about someone coming in and murdering them. Okay? Blessed are the peacemakers, are the people that look to find ways to work together. Today, for a lot of people, the way to get your way is to just shoot anybody that's in your way. Guess what? That doesn't work. You know why it doesn't work? Because spiritually, whatever energy that you're trying to work out with that person that you have so many issues with, you shoot them, I guarantee you're going to find someone just like them. Keep saying, why does this keep happening to me? You need to make some changes within yourself. Okay, so background checks. What is in that person's background that they're afraid of getting a background check? Give me a background check if you want. You'll probably be so bored you're going to fall asleep. Would I be a politician? No. Would they find skeletons in my closet? Probably. But if they found them there, they would be skeletons. They wouldn't be live beings. Because I have learned a lot through my lessons, through my mistakes. You ever notice how you try to pin those politicians down on something they did when they were in college or whatever? And they go, I didn't do that, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. And you know what? If somebody said to me, well, yeah, I didn't have my prefrontal cortex. Hello. Think about it. Okay. So another thing that they did in Texas was they no longer have to store their weapons and their ammunition separately. Now they can store them together, which is not a good thing, especially if your house gets broken into, or if you're in some sort of a rage of something and you have to go find it and put it together and like that. No license is required. Let's see, it was background checks. Why can I not remember the other one? Oh, mental health. So there are red flag laws that are supposed to spot someone that has issues with mental health that may be a danger. Reporting that is no longer required or allowed or encouraged or whatever. So there were red flags. If there were red flag alerts on this kid, he wouldn't have gotten his hands on that gun. We did have, after the Sandy Hook shooting, President Obama did ban assault weapons, assault rifles, and the murder rate went down, dramatically. And then it was overturned by the previous administration, and then the rates have been going up ever since. So yeah, there is an increase in violence. Some people say there's really no increase. It's just that we think there's an increase, but it's just that you hear about it more. Believe me when I tell you that is not true. I've been on this planet for a very long time. Go to the gun violence archives, and you will find just how bad it is. That I'm not saying that to make you give up hope. I'm saying that so that to try to help you know we can make a difference, but what we can't do is stop. We can't stop speaking our truth. We can't stop educating ourselves. We must be educated. Get to the truth. It's not hard. Go on the internet. If you want to have a real enlightening moment, you can go on a government website, and right this second I can't remember what it was, but I was looking at congressional votes. So you can find out who voted for or against bills that came up to be passed. We just tried to get a background check law passed recently, and no Republicans would support it. Look, I'm not trying to make a division here, Republicans, Democrats. There's good everywhere, there's bad everywhere, but the point is, this is a fact. This is a fact. The Republicans would not pass that. A bunch of Republicans would not pass the Formula Act to try to get the formula available to everyone in all brackets. It was like you could sell the high price spread to people that didn't have money, that were on welfare or whatever. Here's the deal. We're all one. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, but as many times as I have to say it, I will say it. Just as our physical body is one, each one of us is a part of a greater whole, and that goes right down to the planet we live on. We are a part of it. We are a part of each other. To ignore the gun issue, to ignore gun violence issue, crisis, is like to ignore a cancerous, what do they call that, metastasizing cancer in your body. That's what it's just like, because it's going to kill the host. Guess who's the host? We are. We are all one. We will only thrive to the degree we can help each other. Our universe was created by God, Spirit, Divine Mind. I don't care what you call it. But it was a supreme intelligence that we share. If we will engage it, we share it. And it was all about supporting, self-supporting, growing, making it better. We are not meant to fight against each other. Dis-ease, we have a dis-ease. We have a dis-ease in our country, which is viral, definitely right up there with COVID. The only difference is there's no vaccine for it. Prayer's good, but you pray and you move your feet. Stop waiting for Jesus to come and fix it. Jesus came and gave us a teaching to fix it. Stop waiting for Buddha or aliens or anybody to come fix it. A lot of alien talk these days. Are they out there? If you don't think so, I'd ask you, why do you limit God? If God could do us, God could do more than us. I'm certainly, if you look at the size of the universe, that's ridiculous. And what I've heard is they're here to try to help us not wipe each other out or wipe out the whole deal. Why? Because we are a part of that wholeness, of that oneness. Now, I had a bunch of notes which I left down in the office, and I just didn't feel like going down and getting them because I have sincerely been so soul drained by this, because I have felt so overwhelmed. And in sharing this with you, I hope you get it. I hope you get something from this, something that you can take into the world. I am calling everyone to an arms race, okay? This is the arms race I am calling you to. To know that you have two arms. And they are meant not to pull triggers, but to embrace each other, to hang on to each other. We have hands. Hands symbolize the work. We have hands to do good works. We have brains. And if you're old enough, you got a prefrontal cortex that you can use to discern. Don't buy the lies. Don't let people tell you that more guns will bring less murder. That is inane. We have to start naming it so we can address it. Violence breeds violence. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. It's about cause and effect. It's not about taking people's guns away as much as it is practically Neanderthal to want to have guns. Sorry, hunters, it is Neanderthal. We don't have to do that anymore. Don't tell me about anything overpopulating the deer. They're not overpopulating. We're taking over their land, just like we came out here and took away the Native Americans' land. We need enlightenment. And it is therefore, you don't have to have money to be enlightened. You don't have to go to a fancy school to be enlightened. You don't have to have a piece of paper with a gold stamp on it and a little ribbon hanging off of it. No. Enlightenment, guess what? Comes from within. It's not about putting light in, it's letting light out. All right, I just want to take, I have these little meager notes. I had all this little good stuff. You'll probably get that another day. Anyway, what's not going to work is more guns, more police officers in the school. It didn't help. And if you recall, I believe it was in the Marjorie, oh, I forgot the name, in Parkland, Florida, where all the teenagers were killed. Their security officer ran the other way. And there's nightmare stories coming out of it. Sort out the conspiracy theories from the truth, okay? Don't go buying anything. Oh my God, did you know what I heard? No. First of all, before you speak, do your research so you know what you're talking about. Why is someone so paranoid that they think they need to have a bunch of weapons? That's what has to be cured. You want to talk about mental health? That's a mental health issue. Not wanting background checks for guns? That's a mental health issue. Okay? All over the world, people have mental health issues, but they don't go around shooting people. And if you look at that, the weapon of choice for mass murderers is the military weapon, the AR-15 or whatever, which has done most of them. Understand there's a worse one coming out. These should not be sold to civilians. I am sorry. You don't need it. Learn to love your neighbor. Not blast a hole in them because heaven knows what they might be doing. They may be the wrong color. They may be the wrong religion. They may have different lifestyle. Stop looking at it with prejudice. We are all one. Well, I hope I didn't make any enemies tonight. Sometimes you just gotta talk straight. And I know I probably didn't make a lot of good solid sense like I typically like to, but I could not stay quiet. Martin Luther had within him some very strong beliefs, didn't like what was going on in the church, so he came up with his 99 Theses, and he nailed them to the door of the church. And the elders came out and they said, you need to take that down. And he said words that have inspired my life ever since. He said, so help me God, I cannot. And as far as doing my best to, in as perhaps flawed a way as I could tonight, tell you the things that came up for me, could I not say them? So help me God, I could not. I hope I offered you something tonight. And I hope that was not being drained like I feel, that it is, in fact, hope. Hope for a better day. Hope for a better world. But this better world will not be built on hope. It will be built through your thoughts, your words, your action, your creativity, and your courage. You know, the two teachers that were killed in that shooting were both holding on to children, trying to keep them from getting murdered. We can do better. We need to do better. Until we meet again, God bless you. Peace.